I want you to imagine something for a moment. Pastel pink lighting, glittering mini dresses, a space that looks like it's been lifted from a toy store display, and a figure strutting through it confidently. Knowing full well this is more than a look, enter Sabrina Carpenter. She's got the kind of image that screams pop princess. But if you listen closely, there's a wink behind the smile, a nudge behind the sparkle, a message tucked inside the stiletto heel click. The facade of sweetness, it's part of the act. The act itself, a sharp commentary on the culture around her. The set, pastel dresses, gloss, and irony. At a glance, Sabrina's aesthetic looks exactly like what the mainstream pop machine would approve of: short dresses, baby pink backdrops, platforms, and gloss. According to one profile, her wardrobe is filled with short dresses, skimpy skirts, pastels, and sparkles, embracing femininity and showing off her body. But, and this is the key, this isn't naive. It's deliberate. The pastels and the playful dresses are too coquettish to be accidental. They're loud and hyper-feminine and seem intentionally to parody the idea of what a girl in pop should look like. She's not just dancing inside the box of stereotype, she's winking at the camera while she's in there. The image becomes text. As Roland Barthes might say, the image is a sign. It says, "This is femininity as sold to you." And that's the point. She's in on the joke, playing the character, pulling the strings. So Sabrina's got the look, but look a little deeper. Many of her lyrics, her visuals, her performance choices suggest that she knows the game she's in. In commentary about her album cover for Man's Best Friend, critics noted that the imagery, a man grabbing her hair, the title suggesting a pet owner dynamic, was intended as satire. Some called it objectification, others called it sharp critique. In other words, she's the Barbie, the ultra-feminine icon. And at the same time, she's the one writing the script, the one directing the scene, the one holding the camera too. She flips the expectation. The blonde bubblegum princess with the wink-wink knows exactly what she's doing. The philosophical lens, performance, gender, and image. Okay, it gets a little academic here, but I promise we'll keep it conversational. Because this isn't just fun and games, there's theory behind the sparkle. Judith Butler, she argues that gender is a performance. That is, we do gender. We dress it, act it, live it. With Sabrina's exaggerated fempop aesthetic, she's performing femininity in a way that calls attention to the performance itself. Her dresses, her choreography, her lyrics, they are sleeves of a costume, and the costume is the message. Roland Barthes, the fashion image, the pop imagery, they are texts, signs. Sabrina uses the ultra-feminine signifiers, pink, dresses, sparkle, and repurposes them to question what these signifiers mean. Postmodern feminism. Irony becomes empowerment. The irony of playing the doll while holding all the pens. The empowerment of saying, yes, I look this way, but I get to define it, use it, redirect it. So when Sabrina stands in a mini dress singing about heartbreak or sensuality, she's not just being the dainty casualty. She's turning it into commentary. She's saying, you made me a character. Fine. But I'm writing the story now. The mainstream says, objectify women. She says, let's objectify the system. One of the recurring themes in commentary about Sabrina, society treats women like characters in someone else's movie. Women get written into roles: the princess, the baddie, the girlfriend, the victim. According to an article, she said, you'll still get the occasional mother that has a strong opinion on how you should be dressing. And to that I just say, don't come to the show. And that's okay. In her song Man-Child, she rails against the lazy man-child partner who acts entitled. The album cover of Man's Best Friend brazenly plays with the male gaze trope. The question critics asked, is she owning the trope or reinforcing it? Some argued she failed to subvert it, others said she intentionally embraced the discomfort to expose it. For Sabrina, the Barbie aesthetic becomes a vehicle for saying, this is how the industry treats us, as stylized dolls. I can be the doll and the author. She flips the very script used against women, why she becomes both the joke and the genius. Here's the paradox. She's being laughed at, the Barbie image, and she's doing the laughing, the irony, the critique. So yes, she is the joke. the exaggerated blonde, the bubblegum pop princess. But she's also the genius, the one who sees how the joke works and uses it to dismantle something. Imagine, you play the part of the damsel, and while everyone watches the damsel, you're quietly editing the screenplay. That's Sabrina's move. When you see her in a short dress, you might go, "Oh, cute pop star." But if you pay attention, you'll go, "Oh wait, she knows exactly what she's doing, and she's making me look." It's a little bit Machiavellian, you could say, but it's also really funny and really smart. The audience rides the loop, fun, then reflection. What makes Sabrina's charm so effective is that you can just enjoy the song, dance to it, laugh at the hook, wear the glitter, and you'd be totally valid just doing that. But if you choose, you can also go deeper. Understand the wink, see the critique, recognize the commentary. When she dresses like Barbie and sings like pop star, you might think, "Oh, this is superficial." But it's layered. She invites the layering. She invites you to be a superficial fan if you want, or a thoughtful fan if you want. Either way, she wins. Why some people are uncomfortable. And that's exactly the point. Of course, not everyone loves the Barbie writing her own script thing. Some say her hyper-femme aesthetic plays into the patriarchy. Some say her cover art for Man's Best Friend is demeaning. For example, one writer said, "I'm all for letting women be horny on main, but I'm having a hard time seeing Carpenter's cover art as either satire or sex-positive feminism." And that reaction is exactly part of the critique, because if you feel uncomfortable, maybe you're participating in the gaze she's referencing. If you can't tell whether she's playing the role or mocking it, then she succeeded in blurring the lines. The takeaway: playing it your way. In many ways, Sabrina is saying, you're invited to the game, but you don't get the rules. I decide what the game even looks like. I define the narrative. I choose the color palette, the lighting, the mood. I pick the outfit, the pose, the camera angle. I even pick the criticism, because I know it's coming and I designed for it. That's the real sleight of hand here. She builds the frame before anyone else can step in and define her. Every move feels like a reaction, but it's actually a plan. Every coincidence feels rehearsed because it is. And that's what separates Sabrina from the archetype she's parodying. She's not just performing femininity, she's producing it. When she said she wrote her single espresso as a manifestation tactic, when no one was romantically interested in her, she wasn't just being cheeky. She was rewriting the pop mythology that usually gets handed to women. She was flipping the script of pop star waiting for love to pop star summoning love on her own terms. That's not just sass, that's storytelling with purpose. It's her saying, "I'm not the muse, I'm the magician." She didn't sit around hoping to be desired. She created the desire. She turned a drought into a wave, loneliness into rhythm, waiting into self-promotion. That's alchemy in glitter form. So next time you see Sabrina in glitter and pastel and heels, remember, she's not just playing the Barbie, you are too. You're part of the mirror she's holding up. You're part of the reflection she's reshaping. She's letting you in on the joke, inviting you to laugh with her instead of at her, to understand that the costume isn't a cage. It's a language. Every sequin, every wink, every sugary lyric is part of a conversation she started long before you tuned in. And when you finally catch the humor hiding beneath the gloss, you realize she's been teaching you the punchline all along. If you like diving into the layers of pop culture, image, gender, and irony, if you love peeling back the pink and finding the power underneath, subscribe to keep these conversations rolling. Because the script is always being rewritten, and somewhere in the glitter, Sabrina's already holding the next draft.